Hey folks, today's video is a very special Valentine Day video. Today's video is mostly a storytime video. A storytime video about me and my wife, who have been together for 15 years now, as of October last year. So welcome. This is Joe from joeThinks, and I am drawing a picture of me and my wife when we first got together. Now, I knew my wife back in high school. She was a part of the social group of friends. I was one of those teenage kids that bounced between different social groups. So I didn't actually have very many enemies, but I had a lot of people that didn't like who liked me, if that makes sense. To make matters worse, I was generally mean if you were mean to me. Now, in high school, I actually dated my wife's best friend. And as time progressed, that actually ended in tragedy. And I ended up moving away, over to the East Coast. Now, while I lived over in the East Coast, I stayed in contact with my wife as kind of like a pen pal on the internet. You know, we would email back and forth and message clients back then from Yahoo to ICQ. And then it happened that I moved back to the Mitten, good old Michigan. And I had, while I was out in Rhode Island, learned my lesson about being mean to others, and had trained myself to be nicer, or more reserved is what I call it. So I was visiting with lots of my friends when I had returned. And one of my friends that I visited was my wife, because I stayed in contact with her. Only she wasn't quite my wife yet. But when I visited with her, there was just something about her that was striking. She was with this great guy, anyway, who was awesome. And he's from the same place that I'm from, in the Mitten, initially. And I was just got out of a relationship and moved back to the Mitten from Rhode Island, from the East Coast. And I wasn't honestly even sure that I wanted to be in a relationship. It didn't work out so well. I was honestly thinking about moving to New York at the time for job opportunities. Now, there's something that you must know, viewer. This video is partly custom tailored as a Valentine's Day gift specifically for my wife. Now, I've been married to my wife for 15 years now, and I have never told her the perspective of the night that I knew that she would be my wife. So it's like this disembodied moment for her that I said one day I will tell her. Part of it was because it happened so close to the end of her previous relationship at that time, and I still wanted to leave a little bit of mystery, So this story, as every story, has a little bit of backstory. Think of it what you will, but I have had reoccurring dreams of a red-haired girl and a dark-haired girl my entire life growing up and in my adulthood. My therapist that I seen when I was a teenager used the dark-haired girl image from my dreams as a metaphor for being a better person, and I developed a couple of really good and helpful coping mechanisms based off of techniques that we worked with, some of them that I still use today. So one night, after I have moved back from Rhode Island, shortly afterwards, I have a dream about the dark-haired girl again. Only this time, the dream becomes very clear, and I see her. It's my wife. That afternoon, she actually, right after I had had that dream that night, she had given me a call, and she had said that her relationship with her boyfriend had ended, and that she just wanted a rational guy to talk to about guy things. Well, I discussed it with a few of my friends that were there and received warnings and cautious encouragement. Well, I guess there were human factors too. It was the weekend, and I had already been drinking with said friends. The afternoon was almost over and night was setting in. I was drunk. I had just finished my third Jack and Coke when she had called me. No matter how smart you are the dumbest person in the room when it comes to love. In almost every situation, I've seen everyone do this. Me too. I'm a big stupid ass. I had not connected the dots with the dream that I had had earlier until she called me. At that moment, I had realized that she was the dark-haired girl, and I had an experience. The only thing that I can liken this experience to is a role-playing term. I had a sudden and rapid alignment change. No longer was I the center of my world. No longer was I the focus of my survival. She had become the center of my world, and I wanted to be there for her to talk to. It caused me to think along the way. That's the basic definition of love. To value someone else more than yourself. Now, of course, there's more definitions you can put on love, such as the social definition of love, which I think is the basic definition of love with shared interest and shared values added to it. But anyhow, I was tipsy. I was having issues getting a ride into town. She lived in town and I was staying out of town. And I was at that moment heads over heels in love with my wife. So I started walking. It's worth noting, it was winter time, and in my head, this walk would only be a half an hour, maybe an hour, 45 minutes, right? The adventure took me across the rural countryside of where I live. I don't want to get into too many details and have the video be too long. However, I did fall into a pond. I didn't really fall, my foot went into a pond. I didn't realize it didn't look like a pond in the winter time. But when the ice broke, I surely found out that that was a pond. And I hitchhiked the last few miles back to her house. I had overshot it by 10 miles because I wasn't familiar with the countryside. The funny thing was I stopped at a local market and a friend of mine's uncle recognized me. And I had been gone for a few years at this point. So I got there and she hugged me. And that was all the reward I needed. We were friends. We were friends for a little while. We decided to stay that way because her relationship had just ended. But we were only friends for a while. We did start dating, and I'm still with her today, 15 plus years. We've successfully carved out our own little slice of life here with our friends and our family, and our daughter, and our pets. And now you, the internet, too. Welcome, welcome. I've now lived more life with the dark-haired girl than I dreamt. Because I'm 40. I've enjoyed my time with my wife. Happy Valentine's Day, baby. So the night I walked in a pond for you, that was the night I knew that we would be together forever. That was the night I fell in love with you. I knew I had been dreaming of you my entire life. And now it's come full circle. Because we've lived more life together than I dreamt of you as an adolescent. And as for YouTube, you made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this. The key to a happy relationship, and it doesn't have to be a significant other relationship, any relationship, is compromise. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And you'll be notified when I release new videos. So if you like stuff like this, me doing custom tailored videos, I guess, that's mainly meant for my wife, only I'm exposing it to the world as well, go ahead and hit that like button. Remember, not everyone has a significant other on Valentine's Day. Be kind to everyone. And use your turn signals.